What is up, guys? Welcome to a new video. So I read the comments a lot, and ones I've seen literally all of the time recently are, what do I build on Lucian now? And do you think Vayne is good or not? So let's answer them both properly. The short answer is, yeah, Vayne and Lucian are both good right now, and if you like playing them, you definitely should. We're going to go over the best builds for both of them, and we'll go for Lucian first. So I think there are 4 builds you can use right now. So the first one is the crit build, right? Essence Reaver, Rapid Fire Cannon, Infinity Edge. The second one would be Ghost Spade, so like that into Black Cleaver, and then Rapid Fire Cannon and crit afterwards. The 2 newer ones this patch though are Blade the Ruin King into Trinity Force, and then kind of a crit build after that, and then Blade into Black Cleaver. Blade into Trinity was the build I actually said about a month ago was probably what you wanted to do when he was proper bad, so that's kind of naturally better now anyway. In my opinion, it's between that one and the Blade into Black Cleaver build for which is the best right now. First things first though, let's go over why you would actually build each one first, because kind of personal preference as well. Crit is the best late game, right? Also BF Sword first back is probably the biggest power spike out of these builds. It is a good build path in the lane phase. There's lots of AD, like 3+ items you really start to do a lot of damage as well, especially with your passive. The bad side is you have no real life still with that. It's not the best at 1 or 2 items, and your burst is also a lot lower. The Ghost Spade route is the best ability damage, like it makes your Q and ultimate especially really hurt. So the good side is your ult from range, your burst damage is really high, and you're a very good answer to tanks early as well. The bad side is you're super reliant on your ultimate for damage. If you don't have it, you can't really fight without it. Also, your auto attacks are not doing that much damage early. Blade into Trinity though is the highest burst build in my opinion. It's really good 1v1 and for killing squishy targets quickly. The good part is you're really good at 1 and 2 items, and you kind of level out at 3 and you spike back up at 4+ again. You're really good in lane and 1v1 as well. The bad side is you're not very good at killing tanks because you have a lack of armor pen, and it's a very expensive build. So last up is Blade into Black Cleaver. You're the ultimate tank killer with this, and it's the most well-rounded build in my opinion. Like you have an even power curve, so you always have relevant damage. The good side is you rip tanks, you have a good early game, you have lifesteal to survive, good attack speed and AD as well. Your ultimate damage is also good. The bad side is you're not really amazing at any particular part because you do everything well instead. So as I said, part of it depends on playstyle, but in my opinion, Blade into something is going to be the best right now. Fervor is super good on him, so we have that extra damage anyway. Then with the Blade, we have the lifesteal, which keeps us stacking and fighting for longer. It has more AD on it now, so it's more ability damage. The passive shots are going to apply on hit damage, plus more burst with the active. So overall, it's a very solid change for him. It's slightly less AD than some of the other routes, but more attack speed, lifesteal on hit for passive shots, and the active burst damage. So it makes him better in all-in trades in my opinion. After that, Trinity is probably the most popular choice at the moment, right? Cooldown reduction is super good on Lucian. More abilities, more damage, more mobility as well with your E. With a Phage, you become like a kiting god. You have the Sheen for burst damage and the attack speed, more blade passive damage, and you have cleaner combos. I know it seems kind of weird, but a big part in my opinion of playing Lucian is how smooth the combo feels when you do it. If it feels better, you'll probably play better and do more damage. I think only Lucian players are going to know what I mean with that, to be honest. Anyway, after that, we go into some crit, right? So Phantom Dancer is if a big bruiser that you've got to deal with, or Rapid Fire Cannon is more burst and more range. Infinity Edge after to make our crits actually hurt, and Last Whisper to finish it off. So the biggest issue is Last Whisper upgrade only really fits in as a last item with this build. There's no amazing answer to tanks before that point. We can pick up the 1300 gold Last Whisper parts. That kind of fixes it, but even that would delay our crit, which is going to be our mid to late game damage. One of the biggest things though is it's really expensive. Trinity Force and Infinity Edge are 2 of the most expensive items in the entire game. Even Bork is not that much cheaper. Normal builds have a good mix of cheap and costly, but this not really so much. If you get behind, you're going to feel like you don't do as much because you actually aren't doing as much. You don't have your needed items yet. It is really good though. Probably the best overall damage build you can go at the moment, and especially early. It is really good. So the other build is something that I really like, but not many people are doing yet. I've been trying this a lot though. The biggest issues with Trinity, right, are expensive and no arm pen, which this kind of fixes. So we are talking about Blade into Black Cleaver, and the blade percentage damage firstly is physical. That means you need some arm pen to make it hit hard. Black Cleaver with Fervor is also very good. Like you stack Fervor, you stack arm pen at the same time. It also makes your Fervor hurt more because it's going through more armor. It's similar to the Ghost Blade build, but it's more well-rounded. We aren't completely relying on our ability and ult damage. We have attack speed, lifesteal, and percentage damage for our autos. So then we go into some attack speed like Phantom Dancer or Rapid Fire Cannon, Infinity Edge, and Last Whisper to finish it. It's going to make our ultimate still really hurt, and we're much better versus tanks, right? We also have like 40 more AD with this. The same cooldown reduction as Trinity, but no Sheen and attack speed basically. It's also about 800 gold cheaper than the Trinity build, which is nice. So overall then, I reckon a Blade into Trinity or Black Cleaver is going to be the best. Trinity is more damage overall, especially from auto attacks, but it's a bit riskier. It's more expensive, and you can't really get through armor as well. That might not always be an issue though. Like we're not seeing as many tanks right now. There's loads of damage everywhere, especially at low elo. They don't really play tanks as much, so Trinity naturally would be a bit better in comparison. Black Cleaver though is more ability and ultimate damage. It rips tanks apart. You have the arm pen and more percentage damage, and it's cheaper, but it's not as much overall damage versus non-tanks, and auto damage isn't quite as good. Blade into Black Cleaver is very well rounded. Blade into Trinity Force is more damage overall, but a bit more of a risk. That's kind of the summary, I guess. So that's where Lucian stands then, but let's go on to Vayne. So there's 4 reasons she's actually better in 7.5. The new Warlords, the new Blade rework, the game in general is going much later where she shines, and lethality was nerfed so she's getting one shot less. There's 2 builds that are really good at the moment, full crit or Blade into crit. Crit in my opinion is still the way to go with her. You want a mix of crit and W damage so you can kill tanks and squishy targets together. Crits also let us kill people faster, which is super important in season 7. Blade the Ruined King into Rage Blade and Phantom Dancer is actually probably better in 7.5, but there aren't as many tanks, and that is where it's really good actually. So when tanks come back, that build might suddenly become really popular again. The full crit build though is better at 3 items and a teamfight build. Like, it's good at bursting and sustained damage. It can really rip through squishy targets and tanks, and it is the highest DPS. The bad side is you're not as strong pre 3 items, there's no lifesteal, and it is more risky. So Blade into crit is a better lane phase, more lifesteal, which makes it easier to play her, and more burst as well. The AD from Blade feeds into your tumble damage early, plus the lifesteal to survive the lane. Even in team fights, lifesteal makes Vayne 10 times easier to play. You have more burst with the active and AD, you're less reliant on crit chance, so it's more of a consistent build as well. The bad side is you have less 3 item damage if you don't crit. You have a lower percentage chance, so it's a bit more down to luck, I guess. Now both of these builds are decent, but I'd say for the majority of us, Blade first is going to be better. It's easier, it's more consistent, and it's more versatile as well. On the flip side though, if you are a beast Vayne player, like position, you kite perfectly, triple crit is actually better. It's more damage overall, but it's harder and it is more of a risk. It's always that awkward thing of like, Vayne doesn't really need a lot of damage. She just needs to survive while attacking for a bit and she'll kill everyone anyway. Obviously if you build damage, you kill stuff faster, right? So it's like that fine line between more damage and dying because you built full damage. Anyway, one of the other things I said about Blade actually before was if you have 2 attack speed items plus the Blade, you don't really feel or care about the attack speed loss, which means it's definitely better overall. Vayne is one of the champions who builds 2. Like, she builds Phantom Dancer and Shiv almost every single game, so that's pretty perfect. It's made her like better against other AD carries and low to mid health targets, which in my opinion is what she really needed more than anything else. After Blade though, you'd get either Phantom Dancer or Shiv into Infinity Edge, and then the other attack speed item finishing it off with a Last Whisper or a defensive item. So that's kind of the build stuff out of the way, but what about Keystones and Warlords is kind of the other thing. We already have 15% lifesteal from Blade, which is basically what the older Warlords was like most of the time. That kind of means the new Warlords is just a bonus on top of what we had before, right? It's amazing for kiting people in team fights, and also 50% lifesteal is nuts when you're critting for massive numbers late game. This is kind of why she's come back a lot. Games are going a bit longer, and with Warlords or even further plus Blade, it's made her late game even better. If you think of it like that, right? Blade makes her early game better, which is her weaker point, and the new Keystones make her late game better, which is her strongest point. So I'd say it's pretty nice. Warlords is awesome later, but it does kind of suck early, to be honest. That's where Fervor comes in. It's much better in lane and mid game. It adds a ton of extra damage, and it's with both builds as well. Like with the full crit build, you're going to stack it a bit faster and have bigger crits and more bursts, like the AD goes into your tumble damage. With the Blade, you have even more AD, so more tumble damage and more burst. In a way, if you build Blade first, Fervor is so good because you already have the lifesteal, so you don't really need Warlords anyway. In my opinion, Warlords is probably better in a full crit build, but Fervor is better with Blade first. Saying that though, like both are really good with either. It comes down to preference. If you want a massive heal and better kiting late game, get Warlords. If you want to play more aggressive, get fed early and have a better mid game, then get Fervor. So the last few quick notes for Vayne then, answering some very common questions. Blade into Trinity like Lucian is insane burst and a really fun carry build. Especially if you go Thunderlords, it's a bit overkill, it's a bit cheesy, it's expensive, but it's really good fun. Ninja Tabby instead of Berserkers is actually very effective on Vayne as well. It makes you really good at 1v1 and better if you want to catch the enemy AD alone, or if you're going to dive into fights rather than just stay right at the back. It's especially good late game as well when you have triple crit. Like you can swap your boots out almost, you have too much attack speed really. Now Guardian Angel actually technically has the highest win rate item out of anything that Vayne buys. It comes down to what I said earlier. It's not always about having the highest damage output possible, it's about having damage and making sure you're able to use it properly, which often requires defense or lifesteal or both. If you have 4 items, consider getting a GA last, or even at 3 items actually. If you're getting focused and dying a lot, Guardian Angel is not always a bad thing for Vayne to pick up earlier than normal. If you have gone for triple crit, right, as your first 3 items, then Bloodthirster is technically better in most cases than Blade. It has more lifesteal, so big crits are going to heal for more late game, which is really good. A shield on top, so it's an extra 350 health effectively. It's also more AD, which feeds into crits better. So this is kind of the biggest mistake I see on Vayne actually. They always get get a Blade Throwing King because it has attack speed. You can have too much attack speed on Vayne, okay? So for lifesteal late game, Bloodthirster would probably be better if you've already built triple crit. I hope you guys enjoyed this video looking at Lucian and Vayne properly. It's one of the probably most requested videos actually for the past week. But anyway, thank you for watching until the very end. Remember to subscribe for more stuff like this, and I'll leave you with the robots.